Hello, everyone. Today we are going to talk about NFTs, but not just NFTs. We're also going to talk about the Internet of Things, and we're going to talk about the gig economy and grind culture and technological advancements in society. I watched a lot of high tech nonsense come and go in my lifetime. I'm old enough to vividly remember a time when the majority of the population, even middle class families, didn't have a computer in their home. I remember a time when laptops, smartphones, and cryptocurrency didn't exist. And I've watched as every single one of those innovations would go on to be commodified and co opted for the pursuit of profit. As long as we live under capitalism, any advancement in the tech or STEM fields will first be adapted to serve capital and the pursuit of profits. Crypto, NFTs, blockchain, Internet of Things, and all of the other technological innovations I've seen during my lifetime. Tech serves the rent-seeking ghouls that maintain the status quo of our bourgeoisie state, and that is not going to change anytime soon. So, the current tech trend for terminally online weirdos with more money than friends is NFTs. At time of writing, Twitter had recently announced that users who have an NFT profile picture and an account linked to their blockchain wallet or whatever will have a hexagonal outline around their profile pictures. And literally on the same day as that announcement, multiple indie developers released bots that will allow you to automatically block these hexagonal idiots. Facebook is doing something or other with the Metaverse and VR that looks worse than Second Life in 2010. And the crypto bro has replaced your racist uncle as the most annoying person on Facebook. I'm not going to explain what the blockchain is or NFTs or cryptocurrency in a lot of detail, as numerous other content creators have made far more exhaustive essays on the subject. Non-Compete, Commander James Stephanie Sterling, Folding Ideas, and many others, I'm sure, have great videos on the topic. Instead, I want to talk about the digital frontier that we inhabit as a whole. I've watched technological innovations that used to be the wildest fantasies of science fiction writers become reality right before my eyes. When I watched Star Trek Next Generation with my dad as a kid and saw Dr. Crusher holding a little electronic device to diagnose and chart for her patients, I didn't envision a future where doctors and nurses could walk in holding tablets with a complete readout of your medical records. I distinctly remember a time when most people didn't own a cell phone. Most households had a standalone answering machine for their landline phone, and home computers were considered expensive toys and luxuries outside of very specific careers. But that all changed. That all changed in my lifetime, and I was here to see it. The internet went from that scary wasteland, largely unexplored by the majority of the population, to something that connects every aspect of our lives. Our cars have Wi-Fi hotspots now. Our refrigerators and stoves and our dryers and our light fixtures and doorbells and televisions and dishwashers and our alarm clocks and even our eyeglasses are all connected. And you know what? I kind of like it. I've always been an early adopter of sorts on a lot of the tech gadgetry. I signed up for trial programs for smart speakers that connect to my car. I used to buy the latest and greatest cell phones on the market. For the majority of my adult life, the most expensive object I owned was my custom-built computer rig. Honestly, a nifty new gadget just has a way of hooking me. And I know that it isn't the best way to engage with consumerism in this way. Many of these gadgets and trinkets will go on to collect dust, often abandoned due to newer and better gadgets coming out, or discovering that the device wasn't all that good to begin with. Looking at you, Steam Link. But I can't help but wonder what would have happened if my love of the latest and greatest tech consumer products was matched with a much larger disposable income. Well, dear viewer, when you combine tech, enthusiasm, and money to burn, you get a crypto bro. And let's be clear, that's all this is. Most of this crypto and blockchain hype is glorified gadgetry with a splash of venture capitalism thrown in. I mean, what else did you think would happen if you told a bunch of terminally online hustle grindset weirdos that they could play with this cool new tech thing that a lot of people don't understand and they could get rich off of it as well? They can have the surge of satisfaction that comes from being in the loop on some mysterious new thing, as well as the usual appeal of pyramid schemes. And let's be clear, I do not hesitate at this point to call any and all cryptocurrencies a scam. We are talking about something that is incredibly destructive to the environment, isn't widely accepted as a form of payment in any industry outside of online drug sales, and is constantly and consistently bilking loads of unsuspecting rubes out of their money with rug pulls and pump and dump scams and plain old fraud. It keeps happening over and over and over. I used to have some hope for the innovations that could come from blockchain. I used to think that it could be a good way for communities in the global south to become more international and more globally connected, as it would allow them to circumvent oppressive governments or colonialist threats. And I was quite naive. Now, credit where it's due. Independent of the super grift NFT and crypto scams, there are some organizations utilizing the tools given to us by blockchain to further assist in seizing the means of production and making this a more equitable world. Do make sure to check out the Black Socialists in America and the Dual Power app. Those folks are doing big things. But my main point stands. It's foolish to assume advancements in tech would ever be geared towards the needs of the people while we still exist under neoliberal capitalism. After all, what happened after it became clear that the internet was a utility that could benefit the entire population? Oh, a bunch of companies conspired to split up and monopolize whole regions of the country so as to avoid competition, all the while gouging consumers for the services. Cell phone companies sell us their devices with the obsolescence pre-programmed into them. Ultimately, when you have a country that puts all of its public sector research into war machines and gives massive subsidies to oligarchs and megacorporations, you are essentially at the mercy of the private sector when it comes to your health. It does you no good to hear about breakthroughs in medical research when the cost of these machines and procedures walls you off financially. Right now, we are crossing the threshold into a wild and limitless digital frontier. Except that the overwhelming majority of us are not the intrepid explorers boldly riding into the cybernetic horizon. Instead, we are the livestock and the cattle, pulling the weight for all of these so-called digital pioneers. Expendable. Expected to sacrifice ourselves on the altar of capitalism. Why do you think that grind culture exists? Why do you think we have become so poisoned mentally that we believe success should only be attained by those who are willing to destroy their body and mind? Where do you think the gig economy came from? We had the opportunity to use the advances in technology to collectively improve the lives of everyone on the planet. But instead, those who hold the power in this bourgeoisie state have just used them to further subjugate the working class. Not content with killing unions and spiking housing costs, they used our phones and our computers as a means to further kill worker protections and accountability. Don't want to provide benefits or minimum wage to your workers? Just have them give their labor to you on an app. Are money laundering and tax havens too difficult for you to navigate? That's okay. We have several ridiculously named cryptocurrencies that allow you to go on hoarding wealth and cooking the planet in a carbon-fueled inferno. NFTs, gig apps, cryptocurrency, blockchain. We were never meant to benefit from these things. They were only ever going to serve capital. And it's time that we take their toys away and take the power back. Thanks for watching. Follow me on Twitter, where I will be launching my new fast fashion line. Follow me on Twitch, where I play games, work on music, and give lectures. I'm also on Facebook for some reason. And if you're so inclined to support the channel, consider checking out my Patreon at patreon.com/car_YZ. Thanks again.